You guys ready?
Michael Mayer's ass.
Yeah,
Michael Myers.
No, you have a problem with last names. You know that? You did it like twice last week.
Who did I mispronounce? Epstein. Is it Epstein?
Got me fucked up. Yeah,
It's Epstein.
him and Albert Einstein.
And Bryan. See, Einstein and Epstein, because it's Epstein, but it's Einstein. So what the fuck is going on there? It's the same 3 letters. It's Epstein and Einstein. Nobody says Einstein is Einstein. Nobody says that.
No.
So it's Einstein, right? You pronounce it Albert Einstein.
Yes.
So why the fuck is Jeffrey Epstein, and not Jeffrey Epstein?
It's a P in it.
The P is not relevant to the EIN.
Yeah.
Brian,
Epstein.
we're pushing P.
Epstein.
Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to HeadKanon 103. I'm your host, Tay Norman. Next to him, him. I'm him. Next to you is
Call me he, because I'll never be him.
what's your program?
If I lose it all.
Copyright strike. Be quiet.
Off to a solid start. This is Jordan, and I'm Brian. Welcome back to the HK podcast. Does that keep happening?
We're professionals.
This is a shit cable.
Yeah.
It is a poor little
I just hate you using Mac. That bugged the shit out of me.
Macintosh, baby.
Dude, I've jumped on the Mac train pipeline, and I love it.
For videos like this, though, I do want to buy a tablet for stuff like we talking about today. So I can
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too, like in an
tablet.
iPad.
Yeah.
Dude, the Surface Pros are really good.
Yeah. How much is?
700.
So,
God, as much as an iPad. What the fuck?
No, iPads are way more. If you want the modern iPad,
No, I don't want a modern
iPad.
iPad. I don't need
With all the accessories, it's like fucking. It's like $1,000 for an
all the
iPad.
accessories, so fucking attachments, like
Yeah,
red,
'cause
red dot side.
perks. Side of hand.
You can open up the slide.
This is a fucking pen.
This one actually has last stand.
What's your go-to perks? Mine's like, what's the one to pick up bullets?
Scavenger.
Scavenger, sleight of
Scavenger.
hand, and
You gotta run SMG, scavenger, sleight of hand.
That's probably my 3 perks. There's 3 of them, right?
That's if you're running gunning. I played for so long at just AR long range, so I would do a lot of stuff like that. So like the
If you're running AR, you probably
ACR,
want like the one that does like recoil reduction and shit like that.
I can't. It had like a list laid out and everything.
I think it is. I think in Modern Warfare 2. That's what I'm thinking of for some reason. Not the newest one.
Actually, speaking of which,
it was an FMJ. What was that? It shoots bullets harder.
Bullet
jacket.
penetration.
Yeah, I used to use that too.
But that would only be shooting through like
walls and shit.
You would never really fully. You would just if you're spraying against a wall.
Never know.
But you're
It made sense for when people started getting the armor perk, like because that was a perk that gave you extra armor, and then Full Metal Jacket pretty much negated that. perk.
Flap jacket was always good because I was getting into a sticky. I'd hate getting killed by grenades, so that was always great.
Killing people by grenades is my favorite thing. I love throwing a grenade like halfway across the map and then just getting like the 125. So
hated the mines, but they and they spin in the air and it blows you up.
Oh, the
what game was
Claymore?
that from?
Oh,
That
that's
was
Bouncing Betty. That was World of War.
No, well, there's a version of that in every Call of Duty game. And Call of Duty 4 was the Claymores. And
Setting Claymore.
World War I.
No, it's not a Claymore.
No, it's a mine kind of some kind
The
of smart mine.
bouncing Betty from World at War was the first one to do that because that was the one that actually shot up and then yeah.
There's a modern version of that in one of the new Modern Warfare. I think it's in Modern Warfare 2019.
Are you sure is it? I thought it was. Isn't there one in Black Ops too?
That's the one I'm
think
thinking
so,
of.
yeah.
Black Ops 1.
Yeah, it started in WoW though.
And then there's one in fucking Black Ops Cold War that I fucking hate.
Speaking of which, Modern Warfare 2 or Advanced Warfare 2.
Slapper.
No, Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare Slapper.
Which is a good game, by the way.
yeah.
That is, I'm sick.
Nah, I'm one of those people. It's not that good.
No, it was a good game, and everyone wants to dog on because they're like, they didn't want the exoskeletons, but they didn't play it. The game was good. The game was actually great.
It was people played Call of Duty, Jordan.
Yeah,
people played it, and
it was like what COD needed. It needed to be even faster.
You're right,
and it was great.
Yeah.
But
people are like, no, it was awful. Like, no, the fuck, it wasn't.
The only thing I didn't like was the grenade situation.
The kill streak system sucked. The maps sucked.
It did a lot.
Good.
It did a lot bad in terms of like the general gameplay experience. But Advanced Warfare is a sleeper hit for me. I really liked Advanced Warfare.
And then the campaign was actually really good too.
I brought it for Kevin Spacey. It's dated. That's the reason I brought it. Yeah, story mode, but. I played multiplayer. Was not a fan at all. I
like the guns.
And then
that was my
obviously
last.
Press F to pay respects.
That was my
cultural impact.
Yeah, that's that game.
That was the last COD I brought before 2019.
Nice.
Modern Warfare.
I think they were like
That was the
two or
wait.
three.
What?
Yeah, that was the last Call of Duty I brought before 2019.
So you didn't play any of them
No.
after Advanced Warfare?
Yeah.
I didn't. I did the same thing. The only one I picked up was Cold War.
I played some of Black Ops 3 or 4. I can't remember.
I guess I did. I mean, I took a long break from it too. I didn't play Infinite Warfare. I didn't play
And
Vanguard.
that didn't go nowhere.
Yeah, Infinite War. I don't know what that one was.
The last few
I don't
haven't
even know
gone.
what
That had the guy from Game of Thrones in the campaign.
Oh, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Really?
They said the campaign was actually really good in that.
Kit Harington. That's his name.
Kid
But,
Harington.
these past CODs prior to 2019 just have been like just silent drops and silent hits.
Yeah.
But 2019, I could tell when I saw that when they did a whole new engine and everything. I was like, "Damn,
Dude,
this is
Infinity
it."
Ward. Infinity Ward is the shit.
They're my favorite ones with all of them. Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer is the one I don't like.
Who did
Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare Sledgehammer?
Yeah. They're the
I
third
like-
developer team.
I like Advanced Warfare, but the OG Call of Duty is Infinity War. Like Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2,
Yeah.
Modern Warfare, and then Modern Warfare 2 again.
Treyarch should, I saw you, I've been talking about this for years, honestly. Treyarch should straight up make a zombie game. I don't know
Yeah.
why they haven't done that yet. It's like
I
they
feel
literally.
I feel like the gameplay loop isn't particularly satisfying.
But COD Zombies, I think it's past its age past a little bit now, but at its peak, I mean, they could have easily
Zombies
had a
was easy.
spin-off game where it was
Yeah.
just a full blast campaign game with like zombies, which I would like to see. And they could have done a ton of different modes. They could have done even like a mode where it was like kind of like what Resident Evil did with Raccoon City, where it's like
Mercenaries.
it's like 6v6 and then there's zombies in the middle of the
People
map.
hated that game. I remember when it came out.
But that was a cool mode. I will give them that. That was a mode that I had been wanting to see forever.
Yeah,
I
people
never played it.
But what, zombies?
I never played the. No, I never played the Raccoon City.
It was,
And,
it was really cool because like you would just like you would start on two ends of the map and I think there was an objective, and then it was just full of like zombies. And you'd have to go down tight corridors, and then you would have to meet out in the middle, and then you'd be,
Shooting the enemy.
like you're trying not to like alert yourself too much,
Yeah.
and then like trying to get clear the area with like the zombies, and then try not to get sniped from.
You know what my problem with zombies is? The COD zombies is that I never have the patience to finish a game.
You can't. What do you mean finish the game? You don't finish.
I never had the
keeps
patience to
going.
like play for a game. It takes too long. It takes forever.
I'm not a big, huge fan of it. I just never got why they never catching the success of it. Like
Yeah.
a standalone fucking game of it.
'Cause
People clearly love it.
People love it, but I don't think it's got the power to be a full game.
It's super arcadey.
Yeah, I think it's got the power to be.
That's
like
what I'm
a
saying.
game
They could have really expand on it. They could have made like several different modes, especially like a.
Campaign would have been fun though.
Campaign with zombies would be
Bringing in
pretty
all the
great.
like
They slightly.
presidents
just
together.
exploring the lore of the COD zombies would be
They
great
did
in a
that.
campaign.
They
In a
slightly
campaign
did
mode,
that.
though.
No, like
every game where it was a lore.
No, listen. In Black Ops 3, there was a mission where it was.
Passionate about Call of Duty.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I've played Call of Duty since like day one.
Such a white
I've been playing
kid
it since
Xbox
Call of
gamer.
Duty 2.
Doritos and
I am the white.
Yeah,
Xbox.
you annoy me with that shit. You
I
that
am
kid.
the one who knocks, Skylar.
I don't want to hear from you.
What?
Sony pony over here.
Sony
live
pony?
and die by the Sony sword.
Have you not seen my recent tweets? I got a lot to say about them.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
today and home.
Yeah, which brings
Anyway,
me,
wait.
Yeah,
Can I-
yeah.
Let me. So
You take
advanced.
forever. Hurry up.
So advanced. Well, you guys kept talking about. Anyway. Oh well, let me get it through its point. Yeah, there was a mission in Black Ops 3 that had zombies, but they were like robots because they couldn't take zombies.
Yeah.
But it played. I was like, this could have been a full fucking campaign right here.
What game was it? Black Ops
It was
3?
Black Ops 3. There was an entire mission.
That's
what do you? I hate he's counting. Anyway, Advanced Warfare 2 got a leak.
Just make them sweat.
So
Advanced Warfare 2.
Advanced
got leaked?
Warfare 2. It like apparently there's rumor that that there was a small leak and then
Okay,
that's in production and we
Interesting.
might see that 2025 or something.
interesting.
That might be. It's that game and then there's another game after that.
Interesting.
It's 43 seconds. Speaking of zombies, Stadia died.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah.
a great segue.
Who would have thought that was
Yeah.
gonna
The
happen?
you guys-
infrastructure just isn't there.
I know. I tried it. It works.
Yeah.
It just no one didn't.
Well,
want to do
it works. It works really well, but it works if you have great internet. But
I don't
that's
have
like-
great internet.
That's like
I was playing. I forgot the fucking game's called.
I know which one you play because we played the same game. We talked
Yeah.
about this like a year and a
Yeah,
half ago.
I was playing at 720p, no input lag or nothing.
I played Hitman. That was fine.
Yeah.
It was like it was just
Well,
fine.
It was like you could go open up a browser, right?
that's what I
and
did.
Just start playing.
Playing in Google Chrome. It was revolutionary. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's pretty. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's cool.
But no one used it.
It's
But-
really great, but I just don't think it's there yet.
Like like that game,
See-
The Quarry. That was supposed to be Stadia exclusive.
How long are we gonna be saying? How long are we gonna be saying that?
I think we need. Well, it's not Google's fault. It's ISPs. It's internet service providers.
Yeah, but I feel like we've been saying it for the past 10 years now.
Because it's
Next 10 years, we're gonna be saying the same thing. We're not ready for it.
They just haven't figured out the user experience. I think it's so dependent on so many factors that you can't get a consistent experience. Because I have great internet, and sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it would like fuck up on me. Sometimes it would eat inputs. But 90% of the time, it worked really well.
Yeah.
But I just think that it's just not quite.
Yeah.
And there's not a culture for people yet to buy into that ecosystem yet.
Yeah,
People want the hardware. People want to own the games.
Yeah, I mean, they give you a refund, but
Yeah.
I kind of when I see the thing around Google Stadia, I see a lot of people complaining about it. I'm like, okay, but you actually didn't play it, did you? I actually tried it. It's not bad.
Me too. It was great.
But it's not something I'm going to do all my life. No, I actually fucking tried it. It's not end of the world as people think it is.
No, it's totally fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
It works.
But
Anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking about Sony and
Speaking of bad
Son
news,
Pony here.
it's fucking annoying as hell.
Yeah, so Sony has been in the news a lot lately. Like every other day I read like a Sony headline. And I don't understand what's going on with Sony, and I don't understand the reception about any of the articles. Because it's like always like 40, 60, like, hey, this is great. And then people are mad about it. So like, what's going on with Sony? What the fuck is going on today? Because I see you tweet complaining about Sony, and then I read a Sony headline, and I'm just like, that seems not bad. And then I see them do like a rumor of like like Horizon Zero Dawn. Is that what it's called? Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah.
Like a remake for a PS4 game that's like less than 10 years old. What the fuck's going on?
Well, yeah, from 2017. Well, I guess you could say it started from like Last of Us 1.
Well, got a lot of fucking factors here. So welcome back to PS Insight, everyone. No, so I thought I tweeted out. PlayStation has been. So you gotta go down in history before I go into.
Well, yeah, it's
but
like-
Yeah,
so
Well, I mean, it started with The Last of Us Part 1.
No, I'm not
I'm
talking
not-
about just a remix
I'm
exclusive.
overall talking about Sony in general.
Yeah, because
So-
the last couple of weeks they've been in a shit ton of headlights.
Well,
the last one that I remember was the Horizon Zero Dawn, but they're talking about like PC exclusivity
prior to
and
that,
like
yeah.
owning studios.
PlayStation has been on a direction where I don't fucking like. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's getting on my fucking nerves. In terms of PC and console exclusivity.
Yeah.
The remake shit. Just they're doing very small things.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like very like why would you make choices of that for some fucking reason? They make weird choices for small things, and it catches up with you. It builds up over time. It's like, why are you doing that? So, but this is like, so it started with the PS3. PS3 was a lackluster generation for Sony, despite them being
Having some of the best games in the market.
one of the best games. Also been the second leading console,
Yeah.
but the PS3 was an overall terrible experience for them, for developers and Sony themselves.
Yeah.
But they managed to get out of it near the end. PS4, what made the PS4 successful, not only because the lackluster launch of the Xbox One and their ocean.
Yeah, they had a shit launch. It's almost like it's cursed if you come out with a more expensive console.
But
Xbox really fucked up. Everything about the Xbox One launch was bad.
But people don't look at the part where Sony actually, and they actually opened and stated how they were with the PS4. Like the PS3 generation was so bad for them, they had to rework some things going forward. And that's why the PS4 was a success. It was easy for developers to develop on, more quality games and all that shit going forward. And clearly was the leading console of their generation. And I'll conclude Switch because Switch is a weird generational console.
Nintendo's kind of in its own bag.
Yeah, they own background, but compared to Xbox and PS4, PlayStation was leading them about 2-1 in terms of overall units sold.
Yeah.
So then we go to PS5 generation, and this is Sony at their peak. They're arrogant again from like the PS3 generations. Kind of. They're in between PS3 and PS4 right now.
Right.
In terms of arrogant, but they have the quality there to justify
Being
some
a
of
little
this-
arrogant.
Yeah. Arrogant,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you think like they at the end of PS4, they had God of War and Spider-Man
Yeah.
before, and that Spider-Man, I mean, launched them.
So they had a lot of fucking, and they have reasons. I'm not justifying it, but like they can brag a bit because they told themselves they can make fucking games and
Yeah.
sales doesn't lie and the quality doesn't lie. It's there. But when you go to PS5 generation, when Jim Ryan is the main head of PlayStation, I don't like this guy at all. A lot of hardcore PlayStation fans don't like Jim Ryan. Cause if you've been following PlayStation extensively, you can see the shift between PS4 and PS5. Like it's completely fucking different in terms of overall direction of the company.
Even if you don't follow PlayStation closely because I don't follow PlayStation closely because I haven't got a PS5. But even if you don't follow it, there is something different in their marketing.
Yeah.
There's something different in the way that Sony's carrying themselves as a company.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to me because I know nothing about Sony. But from the PS4 to the PS5, there is a sense of like, well, we can do whatever we want.
And that's what it is. And it's a lot of, they don't have a big competition, a more engaging competition other than maybe the Call of Duty Activision thing going on right now.
Yeah.
But prior to that, it feels like they're, how can I put it? They're like, no one's telling them stop.
Right.
Basically.
No one's reeling them in.
No one's reeling them in. Yeah. And it's like Jim Ryan's getting over his ass and man's constantly fucking lying with certain things. Like, we don't believe in generations. Oh, but you want to remake the fucking Last of Us Part 1 and Horizon for $70 fucking dollars?
I mean, that's weird.
But hang on.
No, what?
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
No, that's part of the thing. He said he don't believe in generations, so he don't want to do backwards compatibility, but he want to remaster fucking games from literally 5 years ago. That ain't right.
That's a big contradiction.
Yeah,
that's really annoying.
Not saying my other issue with PlayStation.
This is also, it's not even confirmed yet.
What?
It's just a rumor.
That's clearly happening. Because if you look at the list, see, that's like I gotta go down a road.
Well, okay, so according to VGC, the new Horizon version will add new accessibilities, features, graphic mods, and overall. That's like what they're saying now.
It's basically Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us Part 1 remake for Horizon.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's nothing special about other than better animations and shit.
And that's kind of like where, like, from my point of view, that's where this kind of starts out from. It's like the outrage right now with like Horizon. Well, people were mad about Last of Us Part 1 being a remaster, or not a remaster, but a remake of 2013's Last of Us.
But the thing is, I'm not against that remake. It looks good, and I heard it's good. I won't buy it for $70 fucking dollars. No, I'll buy it on a sale. But the issue is they already remastered, not remake. Remaster is a difference.
It's a remake.
Yeah, it's an animation remake. Yeah, they remastered this game back in 2014, a year after the release.
And that's how I played it.
Yeah, that's me too.
Because I bought the original and then I bought the remaster version for PS4. So I've paid I've paid a total of like $120 in money towards like The Last of Us.
Not only that, prior to that, when PS3 launched, PlayStation Collection, PS Plus Collection, it was free up there.
Yeah.
The Last of Us remastered version. But a year or two later, we got a remake, and I don't understand why. Because The Last of Us 2 is a great game, but no one wanted a Last of Us Part 1 remake. Not at all.
No one asked for it.
Not at all. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad because it looks good and it heard it plays good. It's still a good game.
Right now, it's sitting at an 89 on Metacritic.
Yeah, but it's just not needed.
That it's like The Last of Us 1 is a good game.
Yeah.
So like remaking The Last of Us 1, you're just gonna make a good game look better.
That's it. And
that's current. And they didn't do any systematic changes. They didn't do a whole lot of quality of life changes that added something to the game.
They reworked the weapon system.
It's
a little bit. It's tweaked.
Yeah.
It's more geared towards how Last of Us Part 2 is.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is totally great, but
And they said that they're going to add DualSense features to it, and I think the biggest thing is like you can pet a giraffe, you can feel it in the controller.
I haven't heard about DualSense.
It's nothing like huge.
Okay.
Yeah. And I expect that to not be huge, but I also don't expect to pay $70 for that kind of content.
Yeah. And it's like, that's why I say clearly the Horizon one is real because despite how much we bitch and complain about this shit, there's people buying it. And that's going to be the sponsor of it. I don't know who's buying it.
So Last of Us Part 1, that's one thing. Because that remaster, I can kind of see, like, okay, they want to gear it towards, like, having it, because they're calling it Part 1 now, so they want to have it, like, a bundle with Part 1 and then Part 2. And then, of course, there's going to be a new TV show of The Last of Us. I could kind of see that. It's from 2013. They remaster it. Fine.
Yeah, Part 1
or not remaster. It's a remake.
Yeah.
So they remake it, but remastering Horizon Zero Dawn. This is rumor, but this is more than likely going to happen.
Yeah.
Is insane.
Yeah, they just did
It's a 2017 game.
Yeah.
they just did a PS5 patch for it like a couple of months ago to run at 60 frames per second. And like, come on, what more do you fucking need for the remake? Like.
And like, it's not like the animation is going to look that much better. Because The Last of Us Part 1, I can kind of understand.
It's a linear game too, by the way.
It's what'd you say?
And it's more linear too, so you can see a bit more difference there.
And but I can kind of understand The Last of Us Part 1 because The Last of Us, it was originally a PS3 game, end of lifespan, sure.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then when we got it in PS4, it was really just like an upscale texture of like the PS3 game. So I understand wanting to redo the animations and like do all of that and add more accessibility features for like a new generation that hasn't had the opportunity to play The Last of Us 1. But Horizon Zero is, I mean, the people that love that franchise have already played that game and they own it in PS4 and PS5 at 60 frames a second now. So like it's an unnecessary remake. And that one, you can't even target the people that haven't played the franchise because the original game is so easily accessible.
And like I actually replayed the game recently, like probably a couple of months ago, and it still looks good. And it looks great, fantastic, 60 frames per second.
Yeah,
you can tell it's still a PS4 game, but it's not bad at all.
And that's the thing. Like, is Sony here targeting kind of like these graphic hogs? You know, like the people that are graphic freaks. I don't want every single pore to be seen in a game like that, or do they just want to squeeze more money out of like a franchise?
That's what it is. They're squeezing the fuck out of there. They're just doing it for money. That's one thing with Jim Ryan. That's one to get on before you went on to the Last of Us thing. It's where all these companies care about fucking money.
Yeah,
it's clear as day.
Right.
But Jim Ryan's the one who's like openly about it, and it's really turning.
Well, he's the one directly. He is a business.
He's
guy.
a numbers man.
Yeah.
That man, and it's a turn off when you see it blatantly in your face.
Yeah.
And you see it in your games. Like
I keep hearing about how did he hold that controller? There's an image going around of him holding a PS5 controller. Really weird.
He's not a gamer. Like Phil Spencer's a gamer. Shuhei Yoshida's a fucking gamer. Jim Ryan's just that business corporate man.
Yeah.
And it's like night and day compared to those
That's something you would need in a vice president, but I don't know about a president.
Yeah,
well, it dictates your company culture a lot. Yeah. So like if you're a gamer like Phil Spencer is, and like you understand gaming culture as a whole, then you're able to tap into perception a lot better. Yeah. You know, and then
he can.
When you're making the soup, you got to know how to fucking spice it.
So like for like Phil Spencer, like I don't like things he does sometimes with Xbox stuff, but I understand that he's a gamer. He literally communicates with the gaming industry, or like industry, but the community as well.
Yeah.
He's in the environment. Jim Ryan just look at the numbers on the sheets. What's not working, that's what's working.
Yeah.
And
you could take Jim Ryan and put him into textile industries or something like that, and it would be exact same for him.
Yeah, exactly. Same with Shuhei. Shuhei was like, what?
Holding the controller.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So it's a PS4 controller, not a PS. I thought it was a PS5, but Jesus Christ. Why do they look so sweaty?
Yeah, he's very fucking aggravating to me. Over time, it's been building up. Like, God, why are you doing shit like that?
So there's something interesting to me, and we can circle back. Do you have anything to say about The Last of Us? Because I'm about to go into like PC exclusivity shit.
I don't have anything. I'm kind of done with The Last of Us. That just like the fan outrage and like kind of like from just like what I think started the cash grab thing. Mm-hmm. That was like kind of riled people up. But people after showing like them actually showing major improvements on like the graphics actually do look nice.
Yeah, that
was kind of justified. But the whole Horizon thing, I think, is like blatantly like this is a fucking cash grab. The only way Sony's going to justify that this is not a cash grab, which it is, they're doing apparently co-op. So apparently co-op is going to be planned for Forbidden West, but it got scrapped. So what they're going to do with this one, I believe, is they're going to add co-op. So there's Horizon multiplayer projects in the works with also big co-op battles against machines.
Is there any? That's interesting. Is there any?
That's coming from VGC.
Release date?
No.
So,
it's still in rumor. It's not even confirmed.
Okay. So the multiplayer, that's one of Sony's 10 plus live game service they're coming. Herman Holtz stated, that's the PlayStation Head Studios guy. He stated like, so while single player games are more valuable for PlayStation, like single player games, they also want to cash into live services games. No. So that's going to be one of those.
Like I think So it's like I think the template right now from like the late PS4 to like early PS5, it's just been single player,
really well crafted single player,
and they're almost coming like a parody of themselves at this point, where it's just kind of like they're almost coming like a template of like single player, somber story, sad dad, type deal.
Sad dad. That's like 2 games.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
like, well,
I don't know. No, don't do that, guy.
Well, that's what I'm
no.
saying though. But they're I think they realize that they're kind of becoming like, okay, it's
Well, they're the,
what I'm saying is I think they realize that they need some variety into it. So now they're now they're transitioning, which this is like kind of like they've been gobbling up some like mobile studios, and now they bought Bungie, which that obviously indicates that they're going more of a. It seems like they're going to have them develop a live service game at some point.
Well, which is interesting. Sorry, what I think is interesting about that is that with Xbox sort of holding on to Call of Duty as a multiplayer exclusive, or like a gaming exclusive, or whatever the fiasco has been going on, I feel like Sony has felt the pressure to expand on multiplayer games and multiplayer content, because that's kind of what Xbox and PC have going for them a lot, is games as a service.
Well, can't say about that because it's like these games were clearly in development before they even knew about the Activision deal.
Right. But isn't the situation with Activision that Xbox wants to not include Sony in the release of the games?
Depends, because Call of Duty is still going to be, as of right now, I don't fucking believe in Phil Spencer, but Call of Duty still be on PlayStation.
I heard an interesting theory about this was like, so Xbox buys off, so PlayStation or on PlayStation, the number one game, even though like Sony has like exclusivity games like God of War and all that, Call of Duty is still their number one selling game.
Yeah, it sells their platform.
That sells the most on PS4.
Yeah.
Or PS5, PlayStation, whatever.
That's what Jim Ryan's afraid of.
Yeah, so if Xbox cuts off the head of the snake, I mean, they fucking fumble everywhere.
That's why Jim Ryan's freaking out, because he knows like.
No, what I've heard though is like that they actually don't want to.
Sacred symbols.
Yeah, sacred symbol. Yeah,
I know you get your information from. I can tell how you're saying.
I know. I'm watching him. I know where he's getting his information from, because now I'm going back. I've been listening to old episodes.
I'm going everywhere. I got a whole bunch of sources.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tay a fucking journalist with this shit.
Yeah.
But
you know where I get my information? I watch Tay's videos.
But just them using Call of Duty as leverage to get something else out of it. So now they're going to start implementing crossplay and all that stuff. And then also probably, you hold this over their head and then you get some like little other tiny shit. Because Xbox would be absolutely stupid to cut off their revenue from, because if they put Call of Duty, because they own Activision, all those games, they're making money if they put it on PlayStation.
They are, but think of the power that you gain to reignite a console war, which is, I think, is the only way that we can start differentiating between consoles again. And this leads into the exclusivity thing. Console exclusivity is meaningless right now, apart from like 5 titles a year.
Yeah,
Xbox already realized that.
Yeah, and they're moving a lot of their platforms to PC, and so like Xbox is now tapping to a market that they didn't have before by focusing on console exclusivity. And I think that if they were to cut off Sony for Call of Duty, for example, it's like you can't have Call of Duty anymore. What Xbox is doing is saying like, oh, you want to play this game? Now you gotta buy an Xbox.
No, it ain't about Xbox. It's about Game Pass.
Or go on PC.
They want you to know they want to get you on Game Pass. That's what they care about.
But see, that's all they got to do is like they could still leave Call of Duty on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But if they put that on Game Pass day one, that's almost a doing exclusive.
It's a subscription buy. But that's kind of like my thing is that I think that Xbox is swinging dick around to make sure that people invest into the Xbox ecosystem, instead of like just going into like exclusively PC or exclusively PS5. Because Game Pass, it works on PC as well, but it's like serviced through Xbox Game Pass. It's not like the game is on Steam.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go through the Xbox ecosystem. So what I think, if Xbox really wanted to get people to invest in that ecosystem, they could cut Call of Duty off and then say it's on Game Pass day one, go play it on PC or Xbox. Yeah. And now they're investing you in their ecosystem. And that is worth a lot more potentially than the profits from the Sony side of sales for Call of Duty, because if people are invested in your ecosystem, you just need to get them invested for like 1 or 3 months, and then suddenly your launcher or your Game Pass on PC becomes the number one way that players are already buying games.
If they do that, it would be a very long time, and I don't think they would start off with like a mainline Call of Duty game. I
don't think so either.
I think they would develop a spin-off game. Like, actually, this would be good, because what they could do, if they wanted to be smart about it, if they did want to go down that route, they could do a $40 like or $50 COD zombie single player,
yeah.
like its own little thing, spin-off game, and then just do that but that's only on Xbox.
Yeah. I think that it's something interesting because we're talking specifically about Call of Duty. Call of Duty has been in weird ownership, because when Activision owned Call of Duty, the last release, it was only available on PC through Blizzard after the acquisition. So like you could only play Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War through the Battle.net servers. So Call of Duty ownership is a bit weird all over the fucking place, and I think that the reason it's such a relevant title is because of like the crazy amount of sales. It's like whatever platform you get it on, and whatever platform it sells the most on, is like people are invested in that ecosystem now.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the real value, because like Xbox could do that. They could release a spin-off and they could say, hey, this is like a small $40 experience, and this isn't going to happen for Modern Warfare 2. But for another mainline title, they could just be like, hey, we gave you Modern Warfare 2 on Sony.
This
kind of thing like that.
This entire conversation I gave up talking about because it's like we gotta wait. But
we do gotta wait on that.
I gave up.
Yeah, it's only
discussing.
speculation.
Everything's speculation.
But what I'm trying to say is that Sony and Xbox as platforms have given up on the idea of console exclusivity.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting to me because a lot of people seem to be really mad about that.
Yeah, I am. I'm one of those
And
minorities.
a lot of people seem to be really indifferent about it.
Because Sony is now putting all their single player games onto PC.
On PC.
Yeah. And so prior to all of that shit, it was about 2 to 4 year time span before they released a PlayStation exclusive game to PC.
Yeah.
Literally a few days ago, Herman Host, that's the PlayStation Studios guy, said it's gonna be probably like a 1 year now.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's like for me, and I was on JTech TV again last week talking to him about this shit.
Shout out to you, JTech.
Me, him, and a couple other guys were talking to PC guys too on Discord. It was an interesting talk, and God, it was a more interesting conversation between the two. But for me though, I made in my recent PSN video, like I'm not against people playing games on PC. I'm not. I don't want to be that guy. Like you can't play fucking games. But for me, I don't understand the shift return exclusivity games became bad. I don't know when that happened. But my first thought was
I can tell you.
When I can tell you too, and now people don't want to admit it. And JTech told me, like, I didn't want to say that either, but it's the truth. That it's like when PlayStation 4 would start releasing those bangers after bangers after bangers, and like you got Spider-Man, God of War, Bloodborne. People are like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. It's on all
people want to play them.
And it's on PlayStation. And that was fine. Mm-hmm. It's a PlayStation exclusive games. No one wanted Halo 3 and 4 PS3. It just on a different platform. You want that platform, you play it.
Yeah.
But when PS4 started doing these straight up bangers nonstop, I remember a YouTuber named Boogie29298, or what his name is. That's when the first moment when I was saying like, hey, maybe exclusive shouldn't be a thing because there are people missing out on these games. I'm like, yeah, but they bought a PlayStation for that reason. You bought Xbox for that reason. You bought Nintendo for that reason.
I think that there is a fundamental flaw in how consumers engage with the market. Like when you buy a new console, like people want to buy every single console.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just simply can't afford that. So like they have to make a choice. But I feel like exclusivity used to matter when games weren't particularly big yearly events. You know, like if you picked an Xbox 360, you had a very specific type of game. You either had like action adventure or like shooters or cover shooters. And if that was your experience, then that's probably what you would lean to. That was my experience. That's what I leaned to with the Xbox 360. When I invested in PlayStation, I was looking for the more JRPG experience. And so like now what's happened is that a lot of the console experience have merged into a very homogenous mass.
It's boring now.
So you can have like, and it did happen. There was a shift that happened mainly because all these companies want to target the other company's market. Mm-hmm. So like Sony wanted to target shooters, Xbox wanted to target some of the RPG, Nintendo was doing whatever the fuck it wanted. So like when they become homogenous, there's no separation between each console experience other than like the UI and hardware. And so now there's nothing to separate those experiences. Exactly. So exclusivity feels bad. But like back when the PS3 was coming out and the Xbox 360 was coming out, which I would argue was like the last exclusive generation.
PS4 was for me.
I guess that's true. That's true. But like back in those times, if you got an Xbox 360, you were a Mountain Dew and Doritos kind of gamer, and you were playing Call of Duty and Gears of War and Halo, and having those very specific types of experiences. And you were also like a multiplayer gamer, because Xbox was really the first one to tap into the multiplayer market. Yeah. When you were a PlayStation gamer, you were into Kingdom Hearts, you were waiting for the
Japanese
JRPGs,
games and PlayStation
Japanese games, stuff like that. And so there was a very distinct experience and a very distinct user base. When those became homogenous, exclusivity became bad. Because now if you release an experience on PlayStation, the expectation isn't that it's going to be a PlayStation-only experience. It's like, well, why are PlayStation getting that experience if we're all the same market now? And that's because people generally now buy more than two consoles. Now they buy the Xbox and the PlayStation. And people back then used to really only focus on one. You either bought the PlayStation or the Xbox. So like exclusivity became kind of like a bad thing when the console wars ended, in my opinion. So like once everybody was in the same market pool, then it's harder to justify an exclusive.
I think also these companies really realize that it's more lucrative to have a player invest instead of like buying a single player, because you want them to go to your marketplace and purchase that game.
Yeah.
And that's a one sell game. So let's say you go to PS5, you buy Last of Us Part 2, $70. They get that $70. That's it. If you go to PS5 or Xbox or whatever, you buy Fortnite, you're in a different type of ecosystem where you're constantly
buying bucks. You're buying
V-Bucks. And let me tell you, they're making so much more money off of just having a live service game than they will ever than a single player game.
And that's also like why the shift to exclusivity happened, because everything is so focused on service, as a like games as a service, and getting you to buy more into the ecosystem of that specific game. So like season passes and all that kind of shit.
I think that's more so different, because they're still one of the single. I'm talking about more of the single player games here. Cause the live service is more responsive to Fortnite numbers, not the single player games.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that when a game works as a live as a service, because you want to maximize the amount of player base in your environment, you are going to get rid of exclusivity. Because
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Epic Games makes a cut for each transaction that happens inside Fortnite, of course. But Xbox and Sony also make a cut for each of those transactions that happen in Fortnite. So if you're Sony and Xbox, you benefit from not having two separate audiences. You benefit from having the same audience. So exclusivity becomes a bad thing in the marketplace. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like a mile away, but it literally is what is causing them to change up and then kind of stop trying to focus so much on exclusivity.
No, they literally just said it. Like single player exclusive games are still their thing. They just get into the live service.
I think we might see a decrease in those
I'm not talking about
numbers,
Sony specifically. What I'm saying is that exclusivity started becoming a bad thing when games as a service started becoming the main focus of the market.
Like one of the reasons why like Xbox doesn't really care that much anymore about trying to make something exclusive for their console.
They care. They try not to, but they fucking care. We have this Activision deal talking about right now.
But they make so much more money by selling like Fortnite on the console, or like a live service game like Apex or anything like that. It's almost like the mobile well market, but instead of having one person spend billions of dollars, you have 5 people spend this large amounts of money.
Yeah, but I think that's out of the equation we're talking about. It's more like reasons to own the console. You can play Fortnite
but it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter to own a console anymore when it's all on the same platform.
Look at Nintendo. That's my argument. When we talk about this conversation in general, Nintendo's the one that's never brought up.
Yeah.
Why is Nintendo fucking fine? They got Pokemon Nintendo.
Because
they don't
Nintendo,
they don't have an urge pit on a PC, but why PlayStation has to respond to Xbox?
Because Nintendo never fought for the same target audience.
But why aren't they brought in the conversation?
Because they don't have the same target audience.
You never see the urge to say like, hey, pit Nintendo games on PC. Never.
It's
on
not
PlayStation.
But
ever.
That's
Xbox,
what I'm saying. It's
ever.
Like they don't have. They're not fighting crossover.
They're not fighting for the North America audience.
No, even outside of North America, Nintendo is a completely different target audience than PS4 and Xbox. The reason why you see PS4 and Xbox having that conversation is because PS4 and Xbox audiences are one and the same. and they are constantly trying to compete each other to gain the attention of that audience. So whenever a game comes out on PlayStation, people are like, put it on PC, and that's another situation. That's like the Steam ecosystem. But Xbox and Sony have to respond. Sony has to respond to Xbox because Sony has the same target audience as Xbox.
It's very aggravating.
It's
very
annoying.
That's what I'm like. Nintendo put their fucking foot on the ground. This is a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
And I love that. Okay, that's the reason me for the own the Switch.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. PlayStation need to be on that same level. They're not. They were prior, but they saw like
Yeah, but the Switch sits there and collects dust most of the time, though.
yeah, but they have a reason to own it.
I swear to God, but though, like you play one game every fucking 5 years, though.
But you bought the console,
Yes.
and then you buy a game from them once a year when they drop it, and they gain $3 billion a year.
Yeah, but guess
Nintendo.
what's still on there? Fortnite.
Fortnite's also on
Live
Switch.
service games Apex is still on there.
Yeah, that but it's out of the equation we're talking about. That doesn't have nothing to do with what we're talking about overall exclusivity.
I think we might see it. We honestly might see a shift at some point with Nintendo. I don't think it's lucrative for them to like stay like that forever.
They don't need to.
So the thing is with PlayStation, exactly,
Yeah.
and I hate saying like because when I had this conversation, I feel like a fanboy. I'm not, but it's like when it comes to PlayStation exclusive games, they sell. That's fact. You can look it up right now. They make numbers.
Yeah. And they make numbers even when they come out on PC 5 years later.
But here's the thing, that's pocket change to them.
Yeah.
They literally don't have to do that. You can look at the numbers right now. I have an article up there. You don't have to do that. It's just straight up pocket change.
Yeah.
And it is like, that's why I've said in my video, like, I get you on it because more money, obviously. But it's like, it ain't fucking beneficial.
So
They're expecting $300 million by next year, by next financial year, March 31st next year.
So I don't think it's beneficial in the short term.
Yeah.
I think, but I do think it's beneficial on the long term.
Yeah.
Because on the short term, you're not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But what you've done now is that you've made people invest in a title that was exclusive for the PlayStation on their PC, right? So the PS5 is now out and it's still very early in its lifespan.
Yeah.
So the next time that you release a PlayStation exclusive, you're more likely as a consumer to just be like, man, I really want to play that. Let me buy a PS5.
What? Okay, so I brought on JT's
if you
video.
could find a PS5.
If you can.
See,
They're easier to find now,
this
though.
is another thing that's weird about. I think. I know, like, I think there's a lot going on that's just affecting everyone's
is.
market, especially COVID affected everything.
Yeah, COVID fucked shit up.
It-
but honestly,
I mean-
I get you.
Yeah.
But I'm tired of that conversation right now with that COVID because we're kind of past that now.
But it altered.
Yeah,
the
no, I
projection-
agree.
Our projection of like what's going.
Yeah, I agree. But
Like forward
And
now.
also the Ukraine-Russian conflict also affected a lot of resources coming
Yeah.
out because they were one of like the biggest silicon providers. And
Yeah.
silicon's used in motherboards. all
this
over the
this
place.
stuff we were talking about was clearly in mind, but COVID amplified it because it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people can get PS5, so cross buy these games on. God of War is a good example. It's on PS4 and PS5. Those sales are software sales. That still counts for both systems.
Yeah.
Most of those sales probably gonna come from PS4.
Yeah. And I think we're still gonna see that until like maybe
They
3
said
or
it
4
the other day
years.
in an article too that they're gonna be
Which
longer than
I'm so
expected.
fucking sick of this.
Yeah, and I
I'm
think-
like it's just you're literally holding.
You're holding
We're
your
gonna
generation
hit a
back.
bad point where every game's gonna be like a Cyberpunk where it's gonna be not even runnable on the older consoles.
Yeah.
You're running a 2022, 2023 game on a 2013 console.
Yeah, no, it's a
That's
problem.
almost virtually impossible.
Whereas too, COVID happened to affect that too, and also PlayStation want to get off PS4 stick already. They made
Yeah.
a lot of units.
And
sold
they're
on
dropping
console.
support for it in like a year.
I don't know anymore. I can't say.
Because that was the original prediction. They
Yeah.
said they were going to drop support a year after
Well,
the PS5 release.
yeah, because I think what's happening now is like they're coming out with a new PS5 that's
be
going to
insane.
be cheaper
That
and
would be
easier.
insane.
You know, it's the same PS5, just different, slightly modeled.
Just different. I guess different
The-
hardware.
What is it?
The disc is going to be removable.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
That's
gonna
gonna be
it is.
insane.
It's the still same PS5, just
I don't know if I
easier
fuck with
model for them to
I
produce
think
more.
because like
Yeah.
they've always seen they probably figured out the numbers that like okay we can
it. Is it
build
gonna be
this
the same
type of
price?
Yeah, probably.
it might be a little bit cheaper. They might
P-
come a little bit slimmer because it's just going to be probably just an updated version, just where they can manufacture that one faster than the old
yeah.
one. Because the old one's probably at a certain point where they're like, well, we can't take this and we can't get it from there. Like
No,
Ukraine and Russia, like they were like, we can get silicon from them, so we can produce it over here.
The PS5 it's selling really well, but it's not COVID fucked it up and the chip shortage fucked it up. It could have been way more than what it is now.
Absolutely, and I feel like that would have shifted the conversation around exclusivity significantly.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like PS5, like I was ready to invest in a PS5 for God of War, Spider-Man 2.
But if you can't get the console, then.
But if I can't get the console, then I might just by the time that I can get the console, I might as well play it on PC.
But if they put it on PC, there you go.
It's probably going to PC next year.
Yeah,
and that's what me and JTech were talking about. Like now.
They want to have they're trying to have their cake and eat it too right now.
It's more like,
but you see, like it's like okay, we'll have like exclusivity for a year and then we'll release it to PC. Yeah, for PC.
Hate that time exclusive.
I feel like they're a cop out.
Yeah, they are.
Time exclusives are kind
just
of a
be
cop
committed.
out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. I give it 5-6 years. It will be on day one here, day one there.
Yeah.
Oh, day one, day games.
I actually,
I feel like that won't last for. I mean, it just that year exclusivity. They're trying to still hold on to that. Like, let's keep trying to sell PS5s for that. But like, they're gonna eventually hit to a point where they're like,
they're like hybridizing the market, and at some point you have to either commit or break down the commitment.
Well, and a lot of exclusive games, you're seeing that too. Like, there's been like exclusive like games for like Call of Duty. Or not Call of Duty, but there's been exclusive games on like Xbox, and then after a year it came to PlayStation. And honestly, now that we even bring that up, they could even do something like that for COD, which
like Deathloop was developed by
Deathloop.
Sony game, but Sony published game, but they own Bethesda.
So it came to
Sony published it. I think Sony.
Deathloop was an interesting example because Deathloop was developed, I think, by a Sony property.
I think so. I can't remember.
And it was developed by a studio that Sony has very close relationships with. So it came out as an exclusive.
But Bethesda made the game, but it was like Sony deals with it. Like it's for PlayStation only for a good year.
Got you. And then it came out into Xbox.
And that's when the acquisition happened too. So it's like people like the jokes like that's one of the best Xbox games on PlayStation.
That's funny.
Yeah. Xbox produced the best PlayStation game or some shit. Yeah.
That's great.
But no.
It says Deathloop is only available for PS5 and PC right now.
Is that on Xbox One yet? I thought
it came out on Xbox One pretty recently.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Xbox changed their whole logo.
So now it is on. Yeah, it's available on Xbox.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking happened is that like, and I as a person that doesn't have a PS5, I'm not necessarily conflicted. But like I do like that I get to play some of those games.
Yeah, I understand that
on PC.
Yeah, I get that.
I enjoy that experience, but I am much more likely to invest in a PS5 ecosystem if they were just like can't fucking play it anywhere else. Go fuck yourself. Buy the console. I like the idea of console exclusivity because I like the separation of gaming experiences.
Me too. Yeah.
Like I don't pick up my Switch super often.
Yeah.
Now, especially now that I have a Steam Deck, but whenever I want to play a Pokemon game, guess who I go back to?
Breath of the Wild 2.
I go back to the Switch.
Yeah.
Whenever I want to play something that is like very exclusively a Nintendo experience, I go back to the Switch. And so what I think is missing out of the PlayStation and Xbox conversation is that they're targeting too much of the same market. And I think Sony should focus on targeting the market that they know that they're good at targeting and make their money through that because they sell so much fucking money.
They still are.
Yeah, and then make their games as a service, like to supplement some of that income. But I think separating the gaming experiences is the best way to move forward.
Yeah.
Because the console war, which is a cringy thing to say.
Yeah, but I get you though.
What that encouraged was like it constantly encouraged Xbox to develop better games and better system, and it constantly encouraged Sony to do the same thing. There was competition in the market.
Yeah.
When the market becomes homogenized in the way that it is now, with like all of these like games as a service and all of these like games coming out for each console at the same thing, what it creates is like a pool of people that are just arguing over which console looks better.
Yeah.
And Sony's not incentivized to experiment or innovate their hardware, and Xbox has a shite hardware, and they're just like doing their software thing with Game Pass. So like, there's not enough competition in the market right now to justify owning either one of the consoles. So exclusivity feels like a bad thing.
Yeah.
But if Sony
it seems like almost pointless.
It is pointless because if your market audience is the same, why not provide the same service to all of them? But if your target audience is different, then you just tailor your gaming experience for that target audience. And if you want to get people from Xbox, then you got to innovate and bring people from Xbox over to your Sony ecosystem and vice versa. And that encourages a lot of competition.
And that's why I was like, in my video, like, even though I don't like the Sony thing, what's going on with them. I'm like, maybe I'm just not in touch with the times with how things are changing.
And I think that's part of it a lot because as
Yeah.
gamers, we came from that generation of
Came from
gaming.
that generation of gaming.
So like that feels very normal to us.
Yeah.
And that feels very easy to us to understand. It's just like, oh, if I want to buy an Xbox, I just buy. If I want to play an Xbox game, I just fucking buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
Or I just don't play that game. But I feel like it's a lot harder for.
But it never bothered you like that, though, right? Like for
It never bothered me. It never bothered me. Like
Yeah.
I didn't get to play Spider-Man until like 3 years after the game came out because I
Yeah.
didn't have a PS4. And I just waited until I could play it, and it's like, oh shit, that looks awesome. And when I played it, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
But it's a combination of like FOMO. It's a combination of the fear of FOMO. It's a combination of like hybridized, homogenous market, and it's a combination of like Twitter and social media outrage. Half of these people that are complaining about PlayStation exclusivity have PlayStation and Xbox. Like they have no reason to be mad about exclusivity because they're not invested in a heavy ecosystem. They're just like holding their flag close to their chest for the sake of clout.
I think the oversight we're looking at here is like PC is kind of coming up now.
Is it though?
Well, who has all the fucking games on their platform?
I don't.
It's because on PC, it's just it's all. But I say that with a grain of salt, that tiny little bit of grain of salt, because the thing about a PC is like, yeah, it's on PC, but it depends on which launcher you're launching. So if you're comfortable with having 5,000 launchers, which is free, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of more of an annoying thing. You can play Xbox games, PlayStation games, PC exclusive games. Now that's a whole another thing. But PC exclusive games also come to console eventually. It just takes forever to do.
But and the reason why I think PC feels so disconnected from this conversation,
Yeah, I'm about to say that
is because PC is not ruled by one ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
It's like Steam is the primary one, but you got Battle.net, you got Game Pass, you got
is Fortnite on Steam?
Yeah.
Epic Game Store.
Epic Game Store.
Not
So, like,
Fortnite Steam, right?
No, it's not on Steam.
You can put it on Steam,
That library
but
crap
you
thing.
have to have
Like an
an
Epic
Epic
Games
Game
account.
Store.
I do think PlayStation's gonna make their own launcher.
They
soon.
will.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But that's
Because
the
they need
reason
to
why.
have like their own store.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's the reason, and they already kind of have like the infrastructure for that by doing their PlayStation PC streaming situation. But I think that's why PC feels so disconnected from everybody else, is because everybody can invest in the PC ecosystem, but not everybody can invest in the PlayStation or Xbox ecosystem.
I never understood why people are so pissed about different launchers on PC. I don't.
It's
get
almost
that at all.
coming more bang for your buck.
Like if you're still on one platform.
If you invest into a PC,
Well,
if you have no fear of FOMO,
FOMO,
FOMO, then getting a PC is the best way to do it, because you could just wait a year and you could have all the.
No, I'm talking about. I'm saying like people like. I remember when people get so pissed when it's Epic Store exclusive. Like you're still on fucking the PC.
Yeah,
because
it's just-
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm probably going to say the same thing as you. It's just you have to go and open up a new thing, and then it's like 4,000 things on. It's not a big deal. It's just
It's a first world problem. for
Yeah,
sure.
it's just annoying. It's very tedious and annoying.
I
So
don't
like
get it,
if
but-
you that's because you're not a PC gamer and so you haven't had this experience. But like I own Final Fantasy 14, I own Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 14 is an independent launcher. I own Final Fantasy 7 through Epic Game Store. I own every other game through Steam. I own
Epic,
Call of Duty Black
Steam.
Ops.
Origin. It's
Origin is the most annoying
I
one.
Origin can go fuck
Rockstar.
itself.
Rockstar had their own launcher.
So and I have
I think it's on Epic.
No, that's play for the
no,
phone
but
PC.
when you launch the game, it takes you to a Rockstar launcher.
launcher.
So like it's fucking annoying.
it's annoying. That's all it is.
And like
If you open your task manager, it just
Yeah.
it looks like a scroll.
GPU's
and like
going crazy.
all of them want to have like startup power on your computer. They want to be open when you launch the computer. So you turn on your computer and like 6 fucking gaming services pop up. If you don't like deactivate them, and it gets aggravating. But it's not a big deal overall, because what you can do is you can just take Steam and then put every single game on Steam as a non-Steam game, and then it just opens a relevant launcher whenever you launch it, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about Steam.
But
yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I did it for a Crisis games.
And it's great, but I think the reason why PC feels so disconnected is because Steam isn't the ruler of PC, and Steam has recently made a move to target portable gaming with the Steam Deck and develop their own ecosystem on a Linux platform. And so Steam is already like, oh, we're on PC, we're fine. We're moving on to do our own thing and experiment with Linux as a gaming environment, which is something that Valve has always wanted to do, but have never had the infrastructure to like invest.
Well,
heavily.
actually, Valve actually does have like its own like Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
Actually, PlayStation. I just read this morning they brought the rights to that game.
Yeah. So now you're probably gonna be able to play it on like
PSVR
a
too.
PSVR.
Oh,
PSVR.
nice.
Yeah, that's happened yesterday. I saw it.
Which is pretty fucking sick. But Valve is such a big beast, and it's such its own environment that like they don't really gotta compete. And so people are looking to get into Valve, but Valve is not looking to get into PlayStation or Xbox. So like there's a weird relationship there.
This it would be so funny if it'd be so funny if Microsoft told Sony, is like, we'll leave Call of Duty on the PlayStation Store, but you have to let us put Game Pass.
And that
on.
would never fucking happen. Yeah.
That would be well if
Nintendo would do it though. They have a good relationship, but PlayStation, fuck no.
Yeah.
No.
that'd be
That'd
funny
never
though. They were like, well, we're gonna take Call of Duty from you, and they're like, I think Jim Ryan would fold.
What I think would
freak out.
happen,
No, he
probably
won't.
no.
Yeah.
But I think what would happen then is that then Sony would buy one of the studios that does one of the Call of Duties, and then just make their own Call of Duty.
No, they
franchise.
all under brother Activision.
They couldn't do it.
No, but PlayStation just said out the same article again. That they're
Which article are you quoting?
well, the Herman Host. All this came from the Herman Host industry.
This is the PlayStation blog.
Yeah, or
Push
any other
Square.
ways. Yeah. Get off my sources. no.
See, he thinks he's like I'm on the
Wanna
same
be me
page
so
as him.
bad.
No. I was gonna fucking say you got me.
Got me fucked up.
You got me fucked
The
up. No,
hard-
okay. They
Wait, actually, side note, I just want to say the guy who does Now You Fucked Up, that's the guy who directed The Barbarian.
Yeah.
That's
it's fucking
that
crazy.
fucking rules. Go see The Barbarian.
Yeah. Review coming soon, by the way.
Oh, that's what
ahead.
you're doing
Yeah.
tomorrow.
yeah, I'll
Fuck. What I was gonna say. You got me fucked up.
Sorry. I got you.
Oh yeah, they don't want to do. I know a reason why, but they don't want to do the Microsoft's doing Activision or they're buying these publishers and fucking studios. The reason they don't have money like Microsoft.
Yeah.
That's the real fucking reason.
Yeah.
But they're trying to sugarcoat it like we don't want to do that. We're better than that and all that shit.
Which is interesting to me because I feel like Sony, I don't know, Sony just has enough power in its own bag. Like
but they're getting the ego in their head.
yeah.
That's the
They
problem.
want to like, I guess I want to overtake more of the market, but
Yeah.
I feel like they're better staying.
I prefer how they are
in
right
their
now.
bag,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't want. I'm so sick of this acquisition talk. It's not fun. These arguments are mostly like who's getting who.
Yeah.
When the people want Sony to respond so goddamn bad to get like Sega or Team Ninja or all these fucking people. Like no, let them
Like,
stay how they are.
I would much rather the conversation be like, "Hey, we buy like this. We paid this studio to develop this game for us." And
That's what
now
Sony
we're-
originally was doing.
Yeah, which is great. That's how we got Bloodborne.
Yeah, Bloodborne. That might continue to happen because they brought some share with them.
Did,
recently.
So speaking of like Activision and all this, did anyone try to play Overwatch 2?
2,000 players in the queue. So
It's my sister been trying to pay. Can
So-
it come out?
It came out.
come out October 4th.
Oh, yeah.
She's a
October 4th.
hardcore Overwatch 1 player. Like she was like,
Kayla?
was it? No, my sister.
Oh, nice.
She was like platinum. What's the highest level?
Platinum.
Yeah, she's like a MOG pro.
Well, your sister's school has like that
Esports.
High school they did.
Esport, yeah.
but she been playing this for years. Like it's her addiction.
Because
So I
it came
told
out
her,
like 2016, right?
So I told her, how was it not playing it for a day? Like it's weird.
She's like
Because they took the
sweating.
servers down.
Yeah. So
They
she
took the servers for the first one down.
yeah, and I texted her that day like, are you crying? That was her. Like,
Wait, my little game get taken away.
that was her like everything that game.
Yeah.
But
That's insane that like someone who spent a bunch of money on the game just got taken away from.
yeah, she wasn't. So she's one of the people that wasn't hyped for the second one. I didn't understand.
I don't understand because it's the
It's-
exact same game.
It's because
The community is really mad about the second one for some reason.
It's because they should have done is not drop a sequel. They should have just updated Overwatch 1.
Yeah,
And they should have just been like, hey, we're changing the team
that's what it
comps.
looks like.
Well, I think it was like a selling point. They were like, well, they probably couldn't turn it into a free to play game.
I called her out because
Easily
it's
could've.
like she wasn't excited for it, but when she heard I was free to play, she said, "Oh, now she's interested."
Yeah.
She hasn't
But that
played
was the
yet.
thing. Like
Yeah.
the announcing the sequel gives you the expectation that you're gonna have to like rebuy the game and like you're gonna have to like invest money into it again. But if they would have just been like, hey, Overwatch 1 is coming free to play and we're doing some major changes in the game, I feel like it would have gone a lot smoother. Because people that already invested in the game would have just continued playing the game.
I think it was a selling point just to slap a 2 on there and be like, look, new.
But it was the wrong selling point because
I don't know nothing about it.
the PR for it was awful.
Yeah, this game has been like, it's so odd because Overwatch reminds me of Frozen, where Frozen was just huge fucking thing.
Elaborate on that one.
Because like this huge thing, everyone's talking about it. Overwatch 1 was the same thing.
Yeah.
When Frozen 2 came out, it just came out. When Overwatch 2 came out, or prior, it was like, no one's talking about this super popular, very diverse
let me tell you,
game.
people have definitely been talking about it because
I haven't seen nothing.
I've seen a lot because
People on my timeline have been going crazy. Damn.
so. All right, so let's
Let's give you
start
5 more
off.
minutes.
Start off. Yeah,
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. All right, fine. I can speed around.
Gotta
this.
scroll.
You just look it up. Right.
Drink it all up, Eli.
Jesse.
Drink it all up, Eli. From
Mr. White.
There Will Be Blood.
Oh, I drink your milkshake. I drink it.
I love it. Mr. White. Go on.
Bitch.
That's his payback for interrupting.
Yeah, he's right. He's throwing me off now.
Isn't it funny how?
So, would you guys ever imagine you'd be too poor to play a free game?
That happened. That literally happened.
Wait, say it again?
Have you ever imagined you'd be too poor to play a free game?
A free-to-play game.
So, Blizzard started to.
What's his phone
They
number
have-
shit going on too?
That's exactly
They
what it
have
is.
a ton of like cheaters. This is like a part of like their new system
It's
of like.
not cheating. It's harassment.
No, it's cheating. It's so that it was hacking. They had a bunch of problems with hacking, cheating.
They had a whole problem with hacking and cheating,
I
but the
lied,
phone
cheating
thing,
still.
the phone is a direct response to harassment and bullying
So wait,
to
text
remove
service.
anonymity.
So
Tell me what it is. Tell me
all
what
right,
it is.
so Blizzard has a SMS protection system, which is to play Overwatch 2, you had to enter in a phone number to play.
No.
To have so you had to had a phone number active to your Blizzard account or your Activision account. Is it a Blizzard account?
Battle.net
Your
account.
your Battle.net account. And if you had a prepaid phone,
I'm about to
or
say that with a track phone.
if you had a prepaid phone or a burner phone or you had a Google MSN,
Anything that wasn't like a traditional
contract,
phone number.
yeah, you could not play. It would not accept that number. So if you were too poor and couldn't afford a contract phone, you can now play Overwatch 2.
You mean tell those Dollar General phones don't work for this game?
Which this morning we're recording this on Thursday. This morning they retracted a little bit of that.
Yes.
So what happened this morning was they said if you had been playing Overwatch 1 since like October 4th, 2000, maybe I think 19 or something.
I've been playing. Oh, I guess that's the thing.
it's October 6th.
They're allowing you to play the
grandfather in.
Yeah, you get grandfather in and you don't have to enter a number in.
Who?
But if you are a new player like
Overwatch
I
1.
am and you try to go play Overwatch 2, you have to enter a new phone. You actually have to have an actual new phone. And I get it from a certain degree. I think they were in, I think, I get it. Like, I get, like, they were trying not to have cheaters and they're not trying
It's
to.
not a cheater response.
I don't understand.
I don't understand the harassment
It's not
thing.
a cheater response.
Are you trying to, like, just so no one just keeps making accounts?
No, because it's
so stupid.
it's harassment because anonymity on the internet is the main source of harassment. When people feel like they have anonymity, when people feel like they're anonymous on the internet, they feel the power to bully because there's not going to be any accountability to that anymore.
Wait.
So now what Overwatch 2 is doing, you put a phone number into the account so that if you get reported for harassment, if you get reported for bullying or anything like that, you can't make a new account with the same phone number linked into that account because you were considered a harasser
feel like this
and an
me.
abuser. So they want to block people out from getting banned and then starting a new account and then continuing the cycle of harassment. It's all about harassment. Does it help with some cheating? Probably a little bit. But if someone's cheating to that extent, they're going to buy a new phone anyway. They're going to buy a new phone number.
Or just
essentially.
use their family. I would cycle through people. I'd be like, let me use your phone for a minute.
But it's
People that don't game at all.
yeah. But it's a harassment policy
Break the
because
system right there.
now Overwatch is a way to tag you and hold you accountable and retain your access if you get constantly reported as a harasser. Now, is that a good idea? I don't know. Because there are going to be a lot of mass reports for,
but I say
for
trolls
fake
and
people.
shit.
They're going to be a lot of trolling.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to moderate that very carefully and investigate that before they do any sort of banning. But the phone thing is a response to harassment. Now, the fact that people that have prepaid plans can't play the games, fucking stupid.
This is stupid. This
Yeah,
conversation.
it's a stupid conversation.
Yeah. All right. So I have a quote from Blizzard. It said, we designed the Overwatch 2 to be a live service, which enables representation of variety of players' feedback, which we have made a decision to remove phone numbers requirements for majority of existing Overwatch players. Any Overwatch player connected with the Battle.net account, which includes all players who have since June 9, 2021, actually is a correction there for me, will not be provided with a phone number to play. We are working on to make changes and expect it to go live on Friday, October 7th. That's why I got it wrong. We will update players once it goes into effect. We remain committed to combating, here we go, destructive behavior in Overwatch 2. Accounts that are not connected to Battle.net will also, as well as a new account, will start to meet MSN protection requirements, which helps ensure that we are protecting our community against cheating. If a player is caught engaging in destructive behavior, their account may be banned whether they have a new account or not.
I don't see.
So they mentioned cheating in there, but what's really going to happen?
It's like
it's against toxicity.
Yeah.
really.
I don't think so. I think it's them getting more into the information.
It's
I've also seen a
double.
TikTok that like they can't sell your data too.
Yeah, that's
Everyone sells their data.
Yeah, I think it's more. I don't think they genuinely care about the harassment shit. Or,
Well, Overwatch 1 did get, I mean, a lot of the legal problems and a lot of the bad PR that they got from Overwatch 1 happened as a result of toxicity.
and you don't see Call of Duty doing this. So what the fuck is
You
Overwatch?
don't see Call of Duty-
that's ingrained, baby.
but Call of Duty is not a team-based hero objective.
But it's a toxic community.
It's a toxic
Yeah.
community, but the
I would
community doesn't
argue-
interact with it every single day the same way that the Overwatch community interacts with each other.
Sorry, say it again.
The Call of Duty community doesn't interact within itself the same way that the Overwatch community interacts within itself.
Overwatch players seem a little bit more I don't know.
Because they got a competitive league. They play competitively to such a degree that harassment becomes part of the culture.
I think I get it because like Overwatch, it's so team based ingrained that you have to play with a mic. Call of Duty, you could just sit there and not have a mic and go on like a 400 kill
The
streak.
Battlefield's a team-based game, but it ain't doing that. That's
Battlefield
EA
is
talking about.
not really like a team, but
Yeah, it
it's not
is.
like you're trying to communicate with like maybe 3 other people, but not like 5 or 6 other people.
That's what I'm trying to confuse. Like how does work with PlayStation Network and Xbox Live? Doesn't that separate the thing? You're talking communication.
You need to have a Battle.net account to play on either Xbox or PlayStation.
It's kind of almost like
No, I mean,
I
doesn't
don't
that separate the voice chat from Battle Network, whatever that shit is called?
no because you do in-game voice chat. So if you play if you play the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta, you have to have a Battle.net account.
Yeah.
And you link it to that, and it's crossplay because Bryan was playing on PC and I was playing on PlayStation, and we just do in-game chat and
No, I'm not talking about in-game. I'm talking about separate chats.
No. If you want to be
Oh,
in an Xbox
if you-
party, you can.
Yeah.
while you're
But it
chatting
still
with
track
somebody.
you that way? That's what I'm saying.
So in order to, they're not tracking your little every conversation that you're having. There's some dystopian element in there that might be recording. But what they're saying is that like if you get mass reported, that account is now linked to that phone number. So when you try to make a new account,
Yeah.
when
No,
you have
I
to
get
look
that
at it-
part.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't affect anything about the communication of the in-game
Gotcha,
stuff
okay.
because they're just tracking that account's behavior and the reports that account's get,
Okay,
not everything that's happening in the data associated with that phone
That
number.
makes sense. Yeah.
Even if you do want to play Overwatch 2,
You can
good
for, like,
luck
2 weeks.
because you are in a queue for 5. I waited for like 3 or 4 hours to play this game. I got into 2 matches and
Did you
got
play the first one?
no. Oh, I played the beta
On my
once.
on my PS4, right?
Yeah, I remember that because we were in college when we played it. I
Overwatch
played the
is a
beta.
really fun game.
I played
It-
Ice Girl. What's her name?
May.
Yeah.
But I know why they're in so large queues. They got hit with 2 DDoS attacks.
Already?
They
Is
got
it
hit-
Lizard Squad?
They got hit with 2 DDoS
Remember that
attacks.
reference?
Was that?
Remember that Christmas about 6 years ago where everyone got their PS4s and Xbox Ones?
Yeah,
and
hacked.
Couldn't play for 5 days.
Yeah, the Great War.
Hey, this episode's ending, by the way. We did a good job today.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
game coverage right here.
Good. Fuck yeah.
This is my alley right
Great episode. We can. I definitely want to see how the Overwatch situation plays out because they are going to have to deal with a lot of negative press.
here. No one explained to me, though. I don't know why, but why did they go free to play? What's the reason?
Because the announcement for Overwatch 2 was so poorly received that nobody was going to buy it.
Was this the mobile phone guy?
No, that's Diablo.
That's Diablo, yeah.
Okay.
No, but Overwatch went free to play because when they announced Overwatch 2, they announced also that they were dropping all support for Overwatch. They stopped making heroes for Overwatch. They stopped supporting the game like 6 months ago.
Is it tweaked at all or anything? Or what is it?
Overwatch 1 got just stopped.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about the second one. What's
I could get into it. It's a whole lot conversation. They changed the game mode. They changed fundamentally how the game works. They changed the meta, and they added a couple of like new heroes and took away some heroes.
now,
So it is a different game.
when that happened, that's scary. Like that game's done.
Yeah.
There's no
Dead
more.
game. Dead
Yeah,
game.
it's literally a dead fucking game.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. So
All right,
it's that whole situation, but they're gonna have to deal with a lot.
Just some minor news that I have here, and then we can wrap up the show. Friday, Five Nights at Freddy's finally getting a movie. This comes from Variety.
Comes out on Friday.
No, it comes from Variety.
I'm trying to be the guy.
Well, I'm not going to plagiarize it on the show.
You're the guy.
I am excited for this movie because it's going to be by Bloomberg
Okay, guys.
House.
See you next week.
The only way I'd be excited if Nicolas Cage was in it.
Not only is he excited because he did a stream.
He already
on
did that
it.
movie.
Yeah, no, it was great.
But what he's excited is Jim Henson's Creature Shop is going to be creating the
Oh, really?
monsters,
That's
which is
pretty
going to
cool.
be sick.
Holy
I cannot wait for that. And then Need for Speed Unbound.
He does animatronics.
Rumor. I guess I shouldn't even talk about this because the time this episode comes out, this actually, I do want to say this because Need for Speed Unbound got leaked.
Mm-hmm.
They accidentally threw a website up, which this might not be a leak. They might have did this on purpose.
Yeah.
But
Just
that
to
got
get
thrown
information.
up and then it got taken down immediately. And then today, Thursday, when we're recording the show, they're having an announcement for it.
A press conference.
They're like, we're gonna announce a new Need for Speed today. So I think that's a case of they obviously purposely like put it out there.
because it came out like around the GTA 6 leak and whatnot.
No, it came out like the other day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the release date is supposed to be for December 2nd. So that's a little bit too
That's a little too-
close.
I prefer those announcements though.
Wait,
Yeah.
so the
Sure.
movie come out this year?
Yeah, no, next year. No,
We're
no,
talking about
actually,
next
yeah,
year.
this year. This
Five Nights
year.
at Freddy?
No, Need for Speed Unbound. Probably
about
next year or 2 years from.
It's a March
for-
game.
The Five Nights at Freddy's just got announced. So they found a director, and it's going to be by Emma Tammy?
Emma
Tatami?
Stone?
The director for The Wind. I don't know how to say this last name. Emma, how do you say that?
Like-
Tammy?
It's Tammy. It's like Tammi, but I don't think it's Tammy. I think it's like
Tommy?
Tommy. I wouldn't know how to. Anyway. Yeah,
Tammy.
Tammy. All
Don't
right.
overthink it.
Emma Tammy
Yeah.
is the director. Anyway.
Got it?
Guys, if you like the show, give us a like. If you don't like the show, give us a dislike. If you guys are listening to us on audio, please leave us a 5-star review and leave us a comment. Actually, please go comment. Talk to us about what do you guys think about all this bullshit? Are you playing on PS5? You're playing on Xbox? What are you playing on? Are you playing the elitist PC? If you're a Mac, get the fuck off my stage. Get out of my face.
You got to start putting that in the intro, by the way. Not
Yeah.
intro, but like begin the video. Like,
yeah,
subscribe.
because
Yeah.
if you did make it to the end of the show, let me give you a big smooch.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today.
Can you just zoom in? So
I was thinking about that today. We need to give them like a reward at the end. Like you're like
what, you want me to show my ass?
you're a king of queen or something for making it to the end.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be.
Well, they get a big
good.
kiss from me. That's what they want.
Crockett just whips his cock out.
He's pulling his cock out.
Anyway, guys,
Audio
thank you-
listeners.
Audio's listening.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it. We've been getting a lot of comments recently, so keep commenting. Keep
Yeah.
engaging with us. It's
Subs are
fucking
going
awesome.
up. I want to get to 900 by the end of the year, guys.
Yeah.
Share this podcast.
I want to get to 1 billion at the end of the year. Let's make it
Is that
happen.
possible?
Mr. Beast,
Maybe.
please.
What's the limit cap on YouTube subscription? Bit?
Anyway,
No. As many accounts as there are.
In the
See you
show.
guys later. Bye.
I know.